What's happening, YouTube? Today we have for you a 2019 Chevy Impala. Take a quick look, quick walk around. This is the last year they're gonna make the Impala before Chevy is discontinuing the sedans, or most of their sedans. So first things first, I'm gonna try and be impartial when I review this car. I do own my own 2010 Chevy Impala, but mine is an LTZ and it's pretty much fully loaded. And this is just the LT model. So as you can see, it doesn't really have LED lights or the 20-inch rims or anything special. It is super base model. When I went to the rental company, I was expecting a Nissan Maxima and they said they didn't have any left. So this is what they gave me. So as I said, I'm gonna try and be nice and judge it fairly. So first things first, let's talk about the styling of the car. It is very bland. As you can see, to me there is nothing special about this vehicle. It is literally base vehicle, no special styling cues. I don't really like the lines of the car. And the wheels, I believe, are 18 inches. Let's take a quick look. Where is it? Yep. The 18-inch wheels, 235 by 50 R18 wheels. Nothing special about them. The Impala badge looks cheapy as ever. And the overall design of the car, in my opinion, is just not that great. It does have remote start, which is good. When you open the trunk, it does open by itself. And as you can see, it does have some decent trunk space. Easily just as big of a trunk as my older body style Impala. So that is pretty good. But on the negative side, this car only has round about 200 horsepower. Now, bear in mind, let's pop the hood. The Chevy Impala is the biggest sedan that Chevrolet makes. So, why would you put a little baby 4-cylinder Ecotec engine in it with like 200 horsepower? And I didn't even bother to look up the torque numbers because this car is so slow that it is to the point of annoyance. So I really don't like that. The interior actually doesn't look too bad. Get in the back of the car so you can see. The infotainment system looks pretty good. The dash looks pretty good. But I will say that the steering wheel is one of the ugliest steering wheels I've ever seen in my life. It's terrible. The armrest is good. And the design of the door panels and everything is actually not bad. But where it loses major points is this. The tach and the speedo gauge is terrible. The resolution on this radio is terrible. Look at the backup camera. Yep, the resolution on the backup camera is so hideous. It is so unclear. And I've actually wiped off the camera because I thought it was because it was dirty, but that is not the case. It's just a terrible resolution. It has really good storage space down here, and as you can see, you've got a 12 volt, and 2 USBs, and you got another USB down here. The glove compartment is not that very good of a space. It's actually a lot smaller than my Chevy Impala's glove compartment. I would say mine is about double the size. There is good space in the rear seats, but let me show you another thing that you might not realize. It does have an electronic parking brake, by the way. So these seats are leather here. This is not, this is cloth, but the bottom of this seat is rock hard. It's not very well bolstered. It does have lumbar support, but I have not been able to make this car comfortable, and I drove 3 hours in it, and this bottom part of the seat is rock hard. When you adjust the lumbar support, it adjusts this part, so this gets nice, but this bit down here, it rests like on my tailbone in a really strange way, and it actually is super uncomfortable on a long drive. So the car in and of itself, as far as comfort and design, it leaves a lot to be desired. And let's just say I can see why Chevy did not sell a lot of this vehicle. On the driving side of things, funnily enough, the car actually drives, got my hand in the camera. The car drives really nice. It's very smooth. The steering is light, but not too light. You know how some cars, the steering is so light that when you go like this on the highway, you feel like you're moving too much. It's not that way. It's nice. It has a pretty good turning radius for the size of the car. But let me show you something before I pull off. Bear in mind, they made this car 4-cylinder, and there is a V6 variant of this car, a premium version, and that is actually very nice. I've driven that car too. It's a lot nicer than this one. The rims are nice. It has chrome. It has a 300 horsepower engine. That is not this one. So I'm going to judge this one for what it's supposed to be, which is an economical version of this vehicle. And let's look at some of the statistics. Fuel economy, and I was doing on the highway driving yesterday, the fuel economy is only 24.6. If I'm buying a car to be economical, it needs to get closer to 27 to 35 miles to the gallon when I'm doing highway driving. 24 miles to the gallon, or 24.6 if you want me to be exact, is just not very good. And the fuel gauge has gone down really quickly, and I have not been driving this car very hard, because you can't drive it very hard because it's dirt slow. Anyway, setting off in the automatic, see, just 2 pedals. 2019 Chevy Impala LT. As I said, nothing special. Oh, by the way, I will say this. At the Lindsay House for the radio, the seminar on cosmetic surgery. It's very responsive. It actually is pretty decent as far as sound. Categorized as that. It's easy to use. The graphics look super old, look very outdated, but the radio does have a good sound to it. The interior, I really do like the stitching and the upper part of the dash. That is pretty, but this needed to be improved. This needed to be improved. Much better quality. But and when your phone is connected via Bluetooth, and you get out of the car and then you get back in the car, the phone actually connects to Bluetooth very, very quickly. It's actually been the fastest car to connect than any other car that I've driven so far. Faster than the Mustang GT, the new one, faster than the Chrysler 300, faster than the Dodge Challenger, faster than the Dodge Charger RT. All of those cars were a lot slower to connect, and also the Audi A5 that I had last week. But as I said, you got to take this car for what it is. It's supposed to be an economical family car. I honestly don't think that I would buy this vehicle. However, if the price was right, which is usually the case, then I would most definitely consider it. So, setting off 2019 Chevy Impala LTZ. It has a very smooth ride. It drives very nicely. That part I cannot knock. The gas mileage, as I said, does need to be much improved. If you're going to try and make an economical version, at least make it get 30 miles to the gallon. If not, you might as well just make them V6, all of them, with power, and then make the trim levels different as far as just options that you get. But the car does drive smooth. It has a lot of body roll in the corners when you turn, which is expected from a big car like this. But overall, it's a good cruiser. You could go, other than the seat being uncomfortable, if it's not uncomfortable for you, you could go on a vacation in it. I'm sure the kids would be fine in the back. Also, another pet peeve, this car, as you can see, there's snow on the ground. I'm here in upstate New York. There's no heated seats in this car. The dual climate control is very nice. I like the style of that. But overall, come on. Heated seats just needs to be a standard option, in my opinion, nowadays. Shouldn't be some special option that you gotta option in or have a higher trim package to get. Because here in upstate New York, where there's a lot of snow every year, you don't need these heated seats. But leave your comments. Let me know if you own one of these Impalas. What are your overall thoughts of it? I honestly don't like it. My Impala LTZ 2010 model has much more comfortable seats. It does have the Bose surround radio system. I do have an aftermarket head unit, but even the original head unit did sound better than this thing. So that being said, my car also came with the 3.9 liter engine, which had 235 horsepower and 240 foot-pounds of torque. So it's a much quicker vehicle than what this is. Given that it is almost 10 years older, that makes me feel not the best driving this, because I just expected more out of it. And I will do a review on my own vehicles coming up soon. But once again, I'll be back next week with another car review. You guys have a good one.